r/ForeverAlone. Need Quickie says, how are all these average/below average looking guys in relationship? When I go out, all I see are the most basic average unmemorable guys with their so. Most of the time, their so are the more attractive ones, even if they aren't supermodels. Like how? How are they doing it? Groundbreaking Fee 36 says, most of us are far cause we're awkward as hell due to social anxiety, general anxiety, social anxiety, autism, bipolar, etc. List goes on. I know plenty of mediocre looking guys that pull. Now if you're super ugly then you'll be far too. English Hatter 89 says, luck, good timing, connections but mostly luck. I've seen some guys who are shy and awkward in relationships. Turns out they knew each other through connections. Lastacoon says, looks matter, but it's just one factor of many. Nakovk says, why are you surprised that average looking guys can get relationships? Average man, average woman is by far the most common pairing. Nano3142 says, because a lot of relationships aren't based on looks, that's the only answer really. Low Researcher 5357 says, or they are interesting, funny, smart, caring, and most importantly, not self-conscious. Looks aren't everything. It's what's inside that counts. It's sad you judge people based on looks. Pretty shallow. Main Performer 4701 says, remember your own male gaze bias. Men rank other men lower cause we try to see the female gaze through a male perspective of attraction. Tons of guys are bamboozled at the idea that a lot of women now like feminine looking men like pop boys or TikTok-y boys. Maimona says, social skills and general ability to seduce. NerdBeta 123 says, you can be average looking, but making good money, or having a great personality, or having a positive outlook on life. You can be average looking, miserable, negative and bitter. Those two are not the same. RT456 says, looks aren't as important as most here think. I'm willing to bet a majority of ForeverAlone either have social anxiety or Asperger's. In my case it's both. r/ForeverAlone. Avalonalgo says, how do you even meet women? I used to believe that I was ugly as sin, and while I still feel that way during some dark nights, normally I'm quite content with the way I look after having lost around 15 kilograms. Let's assume that I have no issues in the looks department going forward. Even so, it has been more than a month ever since I spoke to a woman around my age in a flirtatious manner. It didn't go anywhere, as you might guess. I'm absolutely stumped on how to meet new women. I can't use dating apps because I don't feel confident enough to upload photos of myself, and I study in a male majority college major, ComC, and the few girls in my class are either already taken or have no interest in dating. So, that is my question. How do I meet women? I don't necessarily have to engage in sex, I just want to spend time talking to them and getting used to interacting with them. That's all for now. Thanks for reading, I guess. Lost Myth King Mind says, unless you have something they want, it's futile. The thing they want from can be many things, but it's usually looks, money, status or some sort of help or service you can provide. It's really hard to have female company as an unattractive male, but it's even harder to learn how to recognize when you're being used. Woodford 1995 says, if you have to go out of your way to meet women it's already over for you. Bernard Count 1227 says, be tall, attractive, confident, muscular, successful, have good communication skills, emotional maturity and intelligence, with a perfect sense of style, funny, charismatic, or just be attractive. Just be perfect, bro. No Assumption 5864 says, I don't. To Jorin Sophia says, having few or no friends is certainly a limitation. Or friends who you grew apart with and are no longer that close, to beg them to acquaint you with women. Hobby groups seems the only available avenue, but then society nowadays is so touchy and politically correct, some women get offended you approach them in such groups, because they are there simply to enjoy their hobby and you're harassing them. Dark Mode FTW says, if you're unattractive you really can't. Public Edition 90-63 says, I don't know, that is impossible. Erasmus Brigand says, be tall and you will stand out. Wildspul 2979 says, if you see one when out and about talk to them. There's online dating, friend finding groups, meetup, churches, volunteer groups and so much more. Secondly, you need to drop the ugly crap. Nobody is going to want to be around someone who's always going on about how fat/ugly they are. Independent Bat 5894 says, are you good looking or wealthy? If not, forget it. Speech Straight 60 says, I simply don't. Yuri 199 says, if you are in college, have you considered joining a frat or going to parties? r/ForeverAlone. Effective Fox says, do you guys think about death a lot? I can't help thinking about dying a lot. I'm turning 30 soon, and I feel like I'm broken. I'm not sure if this is really a life worth living, but I keep swinging back and forth. Forsaken Problem 6758 says, I honestly don't care when, it's the how I worry about. I'd like it to be as painless as possible. Even if that means something instantly traumatic like a plane crash or bullet. Being a nurse, it terrifies me to think of a long drawn out process. The elderly often suffer so much. Hopefully by the time I'm 70 to 80, assisted death with dignity will be more common in the US. Plenty Lettuce 5418 says, yes, all the time, it is crippling. In truth it's not that I want to die, it's just that I thirst for affection and it's become too brutal. Iceman's Jatwash 86 says, yes, in fact I think voluntary human euthanasia should start being considered by our shit elected officials. With the rise of AI, robotics, and looming climate instability or even another worse pandemic, I think it is a perfectly natural and desirable way to go if I damn well have had enough of this shit. Time Ask 9540 says, daily and I'm turning 30 this year and panicking. John Elaboreel says, every day, sometimes I wish I don't wake up no more. Grand Level 9343 says, multiple times a day. Some weekends I search for painless methods or assisted options. I just want a painless exit strategy. Hopper Fuldy says, why do you feel like you are broken? I send lots of love and support. Almighty Almgandhi says, a couple of times in a week. But I somehow came to terms with it. It's just something I have to endure and is part of my life. It still hurts and you feel like shit, but I will never give in. I honestly don't know how I got into this state of mind. But take care of yourself, man. I hope you can find something that makes you smile again. Cool Sonic 2 says, I think about killing myself, Alet. Jerkofferson says, both in the sense that I crave it often, and in the sense that I'm the youngest person in my family by a considerable margin, so statistically speaking I'm going to be almost completely alone in 10 years, maybe 20. With no girlfriend and no children of my own, I really don't see how I'll survive living alone. I'm on borrowed time. r/ForeverAlone. Meant to be alone says, it happened again. Girl I talk to starts dating someone else and I get left behind. So there's a woman that I've been talking to for 40 days, end of January, and she has started dating someone else. I have developed feelings for this woman over the course of us talking. I honestly had no idea she was involved with someone else considering she told me she was single on Valentine's Day. I haven't made a move because I felt it was too early, and she mentioned that she is demisexual, so that made me give even more reason to not jump too fast. I'd say I began to feel deeper for her beyond just friends around the 15th or 16th of February. We have talked on voice chat together, watched some episodes of the new Avatar together lol, talked a lot about games, anime, music, we both like to sing cover songs, and just generally talking about our lives. She's 31 and I'm 27. About her relationship, she told me it's more non-exclusive, because he is non-exclusive ATM, but she's willing to give it a try, and see what happens. She said she thinks she has intense feelings for him. For me, I've been going through some things this week. Mom, new job stress, financial troubles that could end badly for me, and now this new information that I just found out from her today. She asked me why I'm still awake, and I told her couldn't sleep, and my mind is racing with thoughts. Part of those thoughts are about my growing feelings for her, and disappointment about her having deep feelings for someone else. She told me I can talk to her, and that it's a no judgment zone. I know this isn't a dating advice sub, but should I be honest and tell her about my thoughts and feelings for her too? Or should I leave that part out, talk only about the other stuff, and try to move past it and never say anything to her about my emotions? Also, for the sake of giving information before anyone asks, the person she's involved with lives continents away from her. And I'm kinda far away too, but not like 1k miles away. This has been strictly an online interaction. I'm honestly just tired of always competing with other men and me never being chosen. So sick of it. Heckle Edmacott says she is with someone, but not exclusive and online. She sounds delusional. It is just bizarre. Famous Trust 2420 says if she's already telling you about someone else, you're already too late. Welcome to the friend zone. She wouldn't be telling you that if she had any romantic interest in you. Or she thinks you have no such intentions, and you're okay with her telling you that. Sorry man. And about these, it's too early. It's never too early if she's already interested in you. Frangipaniti says, hey, I commiserate on this more than I can say. I'm sorry. It is so tiring to never be the one chosen, and even more tiring that we keep trying. In a situation like this, I would always like to hear about their emotions and feelings. I would always want to help my person regardless of what shit they are dealing with. However, I've come to realize, unfortunately, the other person typically never wants that. We give too much of a frick when no one else does. They'll prefer someone worse for them over us. They'll prefer someone who doesn't care over us. They'll prefer someone who won't have their back over us. They'll just prefer someone who isn't us, without fail. I don't get it. And I'm sorry. The Real Rogari says, curious, but when you say 40 days, how long before you found out she was single into the 40 days? Honestly, some real advice is a lot of women have a lot of options these days. If you aren't closing the deal in under a week, they are most likely going to assume you aren't interested in that. Next time, make the move sooner rather than later. David 290 says, it's a catch-22. If you ask someone out too soon, then apparently you look desperate, but if you wait, even slightly, too long, they think you're not interested. Mekoyao says, I hate to say it, but she is either lying to you, so you would ask her out, probably because she is tired of waiting for you. Either that, or she moved past you and put you in the friend zone because you were taking too long. I hate to be the one to say this, but girls generally move faster than some guys. I actually tend to move slow too, and I know how annoying and painful it can be. But remember, girls play games to see if they can motivate you sometimes. So you are not forever alone, you just need to approach her correctly about the situation and make sure you show her why she should choose a more stable and better option than some loser on another continent. That's all for this video, thank you for watching, please subscribe.